Welcome to the podcast. This is Aaquib in the Faith in Podcast. And all I have to say first is roll the intro.
Welcome to the Faith in Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Hello, listeners. Hello, everyone out there. Today, I have a very special guest with me, and his name is Jagan.
Hey, hi.
Hello, Jagan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Great. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this podcast.
Thank you for coming for the podcast. Jagan, since your first time you're coming to the podcast, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Jagan. I am a stand-up comedian. At least that's what I would like to call myself so far. I've not achieved anything significantly bigger. Anything else? Should I
Tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
Okay, it's very tough. This is like a job interview. So yeah, I am a stand-up comedian, and before that, I was a failed musician, failed entrepreneur, to an extent.
A lot of failures.
Failed techie also I can say, but unfortunately, yeah.
Wait. What do you mean failed techie?
Failed techie in the sense I really wanted to be a techie at one point of time, like this geeky kind of thing. I wanted to present white papers and all. Then I figured out, okay, this is not my case because I have to study a lot. So I just let it go back. Fine, it's fine.
But you're a failed techie.
Yeah.
A failed musician.
Definitely.
Yeah. What else did you fail?
Failed entrepreneur. Yeah.
Wait, this is interesting. What do you mean failed entrepreneur?
Because I wanted to start a company way back, and this was about something related to sports that we were discussing. And at one point of time, it felt like the work required too much, and I couldn't balance it properly. And
what is this called? What was the company called?
I don't remember it exactly.
This is why.
Wait. I think it started as some sort of a quirky website that will post weird reviews of cricket matches. It was called the Whole 22 Yards, I guess.
So
like
you
play on
the whole line,
yeah. Except for the title, we couldn't come up with anything else productive. So we were these three friends who wanted to do this, and we had some specific.
Were you like a huge sports fan at that time? Or like, are you still?
Not exactly, but I just really wanted to do this particular sort of thing.
Okay.
I used to play cricket back in my school. I was a district player now, so.
Hey, wow.
Yeah. I failed the cricket. Yeah. Forgot something. Yeah. A lot of failures.
But I would like the listeners to know that you are not a failed stand-up comedian.
Yet. Yeah.
Okay. A couple of things before we begin. We've known each other for quite some time now in the circuit, and from your recollection that you say is that we met at Lloyd's Tea House.
Exactly.
My recollection says otherwise because
I met you at Lloyd's Tea House. That's my memory.
Okay.
I don't know when you exactly.
Like for me, like the earliest memory of you was when you started playing the guitar, and I went up to you and I said, "Dude, that's a kick-ass fucking way of playing. You should do that. Should do more of that." And I'm very happy to say that you have been doing that. You are an amazing musician.
Thank you.
You sing like the I think this was at a Tanglish show. And you were doing that A.R. Rahman bit.
Yeah.
And I was listening to this. At one point, I was like, just sing, no? Just sing. Be fucking brilliant. And I loved how you have incorporated music into the style. But the listeners won't know this, but you started off very differently. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
In stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
So what happened was, when it comes to stand-up comedy, I was actually, I participated in this contest held by my company. Okay, this was a contest for identifying comedic talents within my own company.
Oh.
So yeah.
What is this called?
This is we have in our company we have what is called as a comedy club. Okay. So if you know Manoj.
Yeah.
Manoj is like one of the members of comedy club.
Oh shit.
In my company. Yeah. So the thing is, they used to have this audition, Got Talent sort of auditions for not young, but for new associates who are just joined the company and who just want to try their hand in comedy. So they had this contest, so I went and participated there.
Like actual stand-up comedy.
Exactly.
Shit.
Yeah.
Which company is this?
Cognizant Technology Solutions. is a podcast. Why am I?
Yeah, I know. Like he just made a face and thought, hey, everyone can see me. Hey.
So yeah, so I participated in that, and I of course during the audition process I just did some stolen jokes nobody knew, and then for the finale, the final thing that I have to perform in front of 500 people, and the big deal about this was Crazy Mohan was hosting. He was the chief guest for this.
The
Writer, the playwright and the comedian who has written many scripts, many funny movies. So he was the judge sort of thing. He was the chief guest there, and I had to perform in front of 500 people. And that's the first time I wrote an original set. My very first stand-up comedy set. You would know this is related to the Malayalam words and all those things. That was the very first thing that I wrote.
Oh.
Yeah. So
wow, this is something new. I didn't know. One, I didn't know Cognizant had like a comedy club.
They still have, but the thing is, for some reason it's kind of dormant. It's not very active right now.
Like how long ago was this?
2 years back.
Shit, man, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So wow, a company promoted your talents for comedy. Are you now chained to their company?
No, not exactly contract, but yeah, the advantage with respect to that was I started doing a lot of shows. The traditional way a stand-up comedian comes up is open mic. You have to get the 5-minute material ready. So the first exposure for me was performing in front of 500 people.
Was that the one picture where you're holding your hand out like that?
That was a different one. That was also again 700 people, but that was last year, not 2 years.
Okay.
So yeah, that is also for a company show within my own company. So we used to get these kind of opportunities whenever there is a specific team or an account that is going for a outing or some kind of a meeting or something like that. They used to invite us performers. There are mimicry artists and then stand-up comedians there, and we used to go on stage and then we perform.
Madness, dude.
Yeah.
I did not know this at all. So your first foray into stand-up was like to a huge crowd.
Yeah.
God damn.
That was insane, yeah.
I know, because the first time I started out, I was like at social looking at 10 people. Oh my god, these people want to listen to me.
Yeah.
But how did it feel to then when did you start the open mic?
Open mic, yeah, I think it was a month or two after that, probably. That happened in Loyalty House again. So I came to Chennai Comedy and then I did it. It was kind of a weird experience for me because I was doing the exact same set that I did in the finale performance. The reception was good though, but my understanding of what I wanted to do with stand-up comedy was very vague. I couldn't crack a single set after that. It was so awkward. It was dead silent. Then I couldn't understand many things. So it was a very lengthy study for me because I had to study open mic scene first. It was very new to me because up until then I was performing for at least a minimum of 100 people.
And these are people who have been primed to listen to you, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Like they know that you're there.
Yeah, exactly. In open mic, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The entire scenario, the scene itself is completely different. So it was a very refreshing experience for me. Yeah.
So the first time that I remember, of you performing, and we were also talking about it, was that you had a shtick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to. I remember the time when I launched this shtick was, I think it was in the open mic in Madeira in Raintree. It was one where Evam had this open mic to promote all the young comics who were coming up.
Yeah.
And Kunal Rao from EIC was hosting it. So I went there and then I had the shtick in my mind for such a long time because I used to binge watch Andy Kaufman clips. And I just thought, okay, why not bring this kind of thing? Because nobody else is doing that in the open mic. Everybody used to come on stage, be this like overzealous guy, hey, hi guys, how are you doing? All those things. And I went there and stood in front of the mic, stone face, and said hi. And then gave this weird laugh, so people started
laughing. Yeah.
That's to me
But do you know why do you think you went for that? Because it's a very low energy style.
Oh, exactly.
And that's like very dangerous.
Exactly.
Like I will get scared if I'm not like full energy all the time.
Exactly.
Like unless it requires me to do it for a joke or something like that. But if I'm starting, I need to start off on a high.
Exactly.
So why did you like mentally choose this sort of character where it had to start from low energy?
The only reason why I chose that was because it was different from what everybody was doing. That always will be there in my mind. Second thing is the low energy start for some reason. it sounds I don't know, maybe it suited me well for some reason. I really didn't know why, but the only reason why I wanted to do that was it's just different from what everybody was doing. And for some reason, when you do something different on stage, when you the audience will immediately pay attention to you. But the risk of that is what exactly you're told. When you're doing a low energy start, some people will think that you're nervous, you're not prepared, or they just completely space you out. They won't even listen. They'll just go okay.
So how do you work that out for yourself?
No, the first few times it worked really well in open mic because the people who were coming to the open mics were guys who understood what stand-up comedy is. But where it failed was because when I was doing some other shows, some public shows, when I started doing it, people actually thought that I was nervous.
Because the size of it was
exactly.
a problem.
So they thought that this is a young comic who's coming on stage and he couldn't even say hi properly because he's nervous and all those things. And it took me a while to understand that. It was risky, but it was a good experience. But it also helped me to move on from that particular stick to actually, do it in a way that I am comfortable with and much more honest way that projects my own sort of personality.
Yeah, so that's another thing that I want to understand because a lot of us, like for me, comedy has always been this honest. Like we
exactly.
keep talking about this in this
True.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's about being yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the fact that you decided to go for a character instead of being yourself is scary.
It's scary to me as well, even now. Yeah.
Because that basically means are you not willing to be vulnerable on stage, or do you think that this is who you really are?
Because why I felt that was because I was struggling to find a voice that would stand out from the other comics.
But why is that so important that you need to stand out from everybody
I don't know.
else?
It's a kind of an obsession for me. It's been an obsession for me for quite some time because I never wanted to do something that could be done by somebody else who I know at least. I never wanted to do that. So give me anything. I just want to approach it in a way it's different. Many times it would have failed, but at least I would not regret. To me, that is more important. So success or failure is a secondary thing. First thing I would keep to myself is I shouldn't regret. Say for example, I had this plan, but instead of that I'm doing something else because somebody else said that this is what is going to work. It works or not is different, but I'll always have the regret that I didn't try it out. What I wanted to try out. So I always felt that okay, if I had to be different, what I should do. That will always be in my mind. Okay, I want to do something else, so not this one. If somebody is doing say for example a musical stand-up comedy, I'll observe what this guy is doing. I'll observe every single thing that the guy does, and then I will figure out okay, all these things are not something that I should be doing. What else can I do? So that is what motivates me. That is the only reason why I landed up in the character. Because nobody else was doing a character. So when I do a character, probably people would think that, oh, this guy is kind of different. No? Some people would go, for that reason they'll pay attention to me. And then I can say whatever I want to say. And this changed because at one point of time, even my material itself was expressing my own personality. And when that happened, people were already listening to me. So the character was not necessary at all. It's completely useless. I can be myself and still people are listening to me. So that's fine with me. So I just.
Do you still think you will go back to characters if you need to?
At this time, no. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe yes. No, but knowing that I'm putting a character, then I'll not be going as Jagan, but as a character. That character will be a part of me.
So do you think as a comedian, this is a question that most people ask you as a comedian. They come up and be like, "Can you tell us a joke?"
Yeah.
Right. For this, what do you usually like? What's your answer?
I say I can't. I'm not that good of a comedian.
Ask him to come. I think it'll be Chinmoy. Chinmoy's in the house, guys.
Hey! It'd be so great if it's not Chinmoy.
Yeah, at least some other dude. But let's continue our conversation. Sorry. So the thing that I want to ask you about is you were talking about originality and being different from the crowd. Do you think it's more important, like when you write content, right? It's almost usually something that's relatable.
Yeah.
So you have this set about You have the set about barbers.
Yeah.
And before that, people. Today we have in our house Chinmoy Rajurkar. Say hello, man.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
Hey.
What the hell happened?
Show prep.
Sure. So, we have 3 people here today. I'm so happy.
Quite a crowd.
Quite a crowd. 3 is a crowd. But welcome Chinmoy. Chinmoy was one of the reasons for this podcast start. He was in one of the first ever episodes. Yes. He also helped make the soundtrack for the Faith in
Yeah.
podcast. So thank you so much
Anything
for
for the cause.
that. Anything
Oh,
for the
wow.
cause. So now you can fuck off. So, but me and Jagan were talking about originality, and we were talking about
Sure.
content. And you had a very interesting thing of always wanting to stand out.
Yeah.
But relatable content is always going to be something that people have thought of, right? So how do you deal with that? Because your material, a lot of it right now, I feel, is
It's
so
relatable.
relatable and
Yeah.
it's simple thoughts.
Exactly.
Mm.
The thing about I like simple thoughts
Mm.
because I feel that it's not about laying out simple thoughts just like that, but what your point of view when it comes to those simple thoughts are.
Mm.
The real reason why simple thoughts are always good for comedy is because, like you said, it's relatable.
Mm.
But the difficult portion of that is going to be what new insights that you're offering within those simple thoughts.
Mm.
To me, that is the reason. It's very challenging for me. That is the reason why I'm picking that.
You're taking, but
Because say for example, if I had to write a joke about RSS,
Mm.
BJP, Modi, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Chidambaram, it's going to be relatively easy for me.
Mm.
But give me a water bottle, I'll find it very tough to write a set about water bottle.
Yeah.
But I am attracted to that. Okay, that's what motivates me. If I have to write about that, I have to write about my struggles with water bottle or something like that,
Your
and
take
how
on it.
different it is going to be.
Your take on it.
Exactly the point. So, and once that take is going to be there, now what I had was I don't have to, like I said before, rely on a character to be different,
Mm.
but I have to rely on my own insights that I'm going to offer with
Mm.
respect to a water bottle
Mm.
that will make me stand out from any other comedian who's going to do a set about a water bottle or something.
Yeah, but this is an issue that I am having now, and I think a lot of comedians have that. Is that when we choose a premise, for me right now, I don't want. I like to do really personal
Yeah.
stuff. I don't like to do generalized stories anymore because I don't think I'm a very observant person. I'm more into.
That was pretty observant.
No, I know who I am. I just don't know who the fuck everything else is. But that's an issue. But I always feel like that is where I will find the most content from self.
Yeah.
So, but do you think that you will be moving towards more personal stories?
I think I am already in the transition phase. My stories have always been personal.
Mm.
So even if you give me a water bottle, mine will not be a pure observational comedy because, like you said, I can't do that.
Mm.
To be very honest, if you give me an object, it will take a long time for me to observe. But what I will tell generally is, if you give me something, I will tell that how that affects me.
Mm.
So
It becomes personal at that point.
exactly, it becomes completely personal. And what happened to me could have happened to you, but not in the exact same sequence or in the exact same way.
Mm.
So that is what probably, that kind of like standing out thing is coming from there, I guess. And the reason is every single one of my set, I write it more or less like a story.
Mm.
It's about an experience that I
Mm.
have with respect to a particular object.
Mm.
So if it could be a barber, it could be a condom, it could be a sanitary pad, it could be a bitter god, anything.
That's one
These
of
are
your
all jokes.
That's one of your best. The condom one. He just went on sale, so I went and bought a condom.
That's it. So
But that premise is so simple and everyone has gone
Yeah,
through it.
because-
Except
but-
Chinmoy. No, because he goes raw, bro. Why does your face look so white?
I took a bath today.
That's why. So just a couple of things. Me, Jagan, and Chinmoy are performing at Bay 146 today. That is what was the date today? June 11th.
June 11th.
So I don't know if we will be putting out the recording today, but if we do, come for the show.
Really?
No,
This
it's
is
sold
your
out.
plug-in.
Oh.
2 hours before the show.
You're plugging the show. Excellent.
Thank you. This is how I do. it.
Anyway, you guys don't have to feel guilty because it's already sold out.
Yeah,
Oh,
which is-
yeah.
See,
So-
that's how good I am. So, guys, let's actually talk a little bit about the prep before show. So, this is the prep before the show.
Do faith in podcast. That
Do
is one of
faith
the
in
best preps before any shows.
Aww.
This is how you have to plug in.
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
I'm teaching you how to plug in like a pro.
Marketing, bro. Oh wow, this has turned into a very weird podcast. But hey, it's good. It's good.
Okay, let's start with this guy. No, you tell how you prep
My
before a
prep,
show.
okay.
Yeah.
How do you start?
I actually have quite a process behind it because I make a record of all the content that I have.
Yeah, guys, he's an actual comic. Come on.
Thanks.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Basically, it's all on flashcards, so I move it around, figure out how much time I have, what all I can put together, then get a structure to it, and then basically spend 10 minutes overthinking it. The remaining, I don't sleep the night, and this is where I am doing the Faith in podcast.
Wow, it's the corporate
Yeah,
managerial
man.
kind of thing. Flashcards, movie.
But how about you? How do you prep?
No, I just listen to the set that I've already recorded.
Okay.
Whatever I'm going to perform today, I'll probably would have done it in open mic at some
No,
point.
but how do you choose which sets to do at what point?
I don't know. I just generally have like minimum of 2 sets that I wanted to do in my mind. I just listen to both.
Mm.
That's it. That's my prep.
I think my prep at this point is just like panic attack before the show. Like no, you should see.
Do I
like-
remember content? Oh, wait, I do. Let's do this shit, guys.
No, you have no idea. Like every time a show happens, and if someone is near me, they feel depressed.
That explains so much. Where are my meds?
No, it makes so much sense, and that's something very interesting to know. The way that, like, it's 3 of us. We're 3.
Yeah.
Comics.
Comedians.
Well, Jagan is an actual comic.
We are still trying to find ourselves. Okay.
Okay, but let's be honest. We are
Sure.
comedians,
Yeah.
and when we go up on stage, there are very different ways we go up on stage. Like 3 of us have very different processes when it comes on stage. But I think panic attack is.
That's common.
That's common.
That's just
That's common.
That's
It's
common.
for everybody, yeah.
But what is that feeling you guys get when you are on stage for the first time, or when you get on stage after?
Honestly, until I get the first laugh, it's just please accept me, guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is that? How would you? What is that feeling you get when you are on stage?
I don't even care about the first laugh. It's the minute that I say hi or something else, I immediately know how this room is going to be.
Mm.
The problem is, once I know that, I cannot turn it around for some reason. That's my drawback, I can say.
I've had that trouble. Like I've gone.
I knew, okay, this is not...
When the room is dead, I can't bring it back up. for some
Exactly.
reason.
It's not even about dead, actually. The minute I walk up on stage and for some reason when you look at the audience, you know whether it's going to click or not for some reason. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain this. It's kind of some kind of an instinctive thing, you know. And once you know that this is going to click, I will be having one of the best shows. And once I know that this is not going to click for some reason,
You can't bring it back up. Right?
no, it's a struggle for me. If I have to focus on bringing back the audience to like me, or whether they have to stay true to my material and then I perform.
That's what. Yeah. Struggle is always
Staying
there.
true to the material or performing.
Yeah, because I have to do I have to go to extreme lens. I have to do something.
You have to literally
hey,
push
what?
it.
You have to literally push at one point of time. You have to over-emote, overact, exaggerate.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go and ask the audience, hey, what do you do for a job, really? And you have to stick to the stereotypical jokes. I for some reason, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't want to do that. Even if it is going to be called as a crowd work, I want to do it my own way.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to work, face it. That's how I go. Of course, all these kind of not panic attacks, the depression will come after that.
Yeah,
Why
because-
the fuck did I do that?
Yeah,
All these things will
exactly.
come there. Yeah,
But so that's common too.
that is common for everybody. There.
I'm just
I
so
think
happy.
no, but it's so strange. Like I honestly felt for the longest time that comedy is supposed to be this. Like when I entered comedy, I was thinking this is to find happiness. But in reality, it's just being more depressed at one point. Why, but why do you think that is like so important? Like I think it is important in comedy. Do you believe that depression and anxiety and problems are important for a comedian?
They say that great art comes from pain.
Mm.
Because only then that's one of the main things people can empathize with. Because I can't find a single person out there who hasn't felt pain, either physical or mental.
What do you think about?
No, that is a very good observation. I think I will explain this in stand-up comedy terms. So, for example, the verdict is out on there for me. I'm not really convinced yet. But if you see a guy like Richard Pryor, he's a prime example of turning depression, pain, and all the horrific incidents that happened in your life into stand-up comedy.
More than Richard Pryor, I'd say Christopher Titus.
Yeah, Christopher Titus.
Yeah,
you can take
exactly.
Tig Notaro. You can take. There are a lot of comedians who do that. But there is one single point which I mentioned some time back, that there is this comedian called Franklin Ajaye. He told that when I am depressed or when some issue bothers me, say for example, he took for example, a separation from his girlfriend or whatever it is. If that is going to affect me deeply, it's going to make me depressed, I can't be doing comedy. I would be taking my oboe or sax or something like that. I start playing that. So I'll be doing comedy when I'm happy, when something makes me, like when I want to enjoy about something. So that's what Franklin Ajaye said, and I, for some reason, was able to relate to that most, because there are some experiences which has caused me great pain. And I was so depressed because of all those things, and everything is with respect to my own family and all those things. But I'm not able to give up, bring a comedy material out of it for some reason.
But as a comedian, why like I've always felt that when you go through something really miserable, for example, I really want to start writing about death. And about how I dealt with the death of an uncle or death of a loved one. And I want to explore that idea because for a very long time I had nightmares about these things. And I don't know why, but every time I think about it, I laugh about it. I don't understand why.
See, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. The thing is, when you can look back at something and then for some reason it seems funny to you, it immediately is going to be it could be a good fodder for a stand-up comedy material.
That's actually one of the things. That's one of the gems that Titus dropped. I've listened to a couple of podcasts and he was featured on one of them. I forgot which one, but he said that the moment you can make a story out of something miserable, that's the time you've moved on beyond it. So it's therapeutic that way, because now you can look at you can face shit on that.
Yeah.
You're moved on. You push it out on stage, you're moved on.
But then, aren't you losing out on material here?
As
in, like, once you've moved on from something, that emotion that you had before is gone now.
Yeah.
Like you had a certain emotion when
you can't go back to that.
You can't go back to that.
Yeah, exactly.
The closest thing you can do is imitate that, but you can't really go back.
Go back to that.
But that is true. That is exactly true. What I generally rely on is about upon my memory of whatever that has happened, rather than my emotions back then. So, as you mentioned, I won't do a lot of things that are very depressing. Because if it is depressing, it will still be depressing to me. So, but when I can move on is not something that is decided by writing. For some people, that will be very cathartic, like writing about the thing that bothering you, that bothers you, or that has affected you deeply. For some people, it's about taking a mic and then going on lashing out. And open mics and all those things. Not just stand-up comedy. There are a lot of other things. Yeah.
No, but for me,
it's much more personal. Like apart from doing all these things, I have to move on, and it will take me a while. And maybe after, like, say for example, a few days or months, when I can look back at that, I might find something like what you did. I might find something funny there. It could be on me or it could be on somebody else. So I really think it's more
subjective.
I guess
like again, three different
comments. But your point of view is what most of the people will agree to, because most of the people, the way they channelize art through themselves is through these kind of pain.
Exactly.
So it could be painting, music, whatever. Even if you consider stand-up comedy to be an art, spoken word poetry as an art, people channelize that kind of deep emotions that they have within them through these kind of, it basically serves as a good conduit. But I have personally not tried that because I've not attended a lot of open mics, and I don't do. I've written stories though of something that has affected me deeply, but not stand-up comedy because I cannot. Even now, if I think about something that happened a year and a half back in personal life,
You can't
still
find
find
the
it
funny
very
in it. You
depressing.
can't find the funny in it.
It's
You
not.
just
very-
can't find the funny.
Nah.
So that's what's important. Like
To
you
me,
need to,
to
you
me,
need to
yeah.
find the funny.
To
You
me,
need to find
because
the
if you're coming to a stand-up comedy open mic, the prime goal is comedy.
funny.
So
Makes sense.
if you want to just go lash out your emotions about something else, it's not stand-up comedy open mic that you have to come. There are a lot of other open mics that are happening also. You can go there.
I
you can
get
try
it.
But I've seen a lot of people try that. I personally don't get why. If you really want to outpour all your emotions, stand-up comedy open mic is not the only place.
I get it, but the reason I started was because I needed some place for an outlet.
Makes sense, yeah.
And that is what I still strive for.
Mm.
And that's something that I believe in. I honestly believe in misery is the cause for great art.
Yeah, it's true.
It could be true. Or I'm just an angsty fellow,
No.
like emo child.
No, it's true for most of the cases. Right?
Mm.
Even the greatest art pieces that you take, they did evolve out of some sort of a terrible experience.
But you know what my
Miserable
problem
experience.
is?
Yeah.
My problem right now is how we try to explain our misery. So technically, the way we explain our misery is it's fucked up because we have very small problems. Like I don't think what
We
I'm
blow it
going
up out of
through.
proportion.
Yeah, we throw it out of proportion sometimes.
That is exactly how I feel when I see most of the people trying to do about simple things about breakups and all those things.
Exactly.
I can't relate to that at all because the problems that I'm going through, balancing like 10 people and their mixed emotions and how they lash out at each other, to me, my personal problems are much bigger. So when a person comes, so that is again very subjective, right? But for somebody else, right? I have certain privileges. Imagine people who don't even have those
Those
kind of
privileges.
privileges. When I do something like this in front of them, they will say, "Oh, that's not a problem. It's fucked up."
Exactly.
That's exactly what they think, right?
And so like this is where I love stand up.
Yeah.
Because this is where even if I do blow it out of proportion, I'm doing it because I want it to be funny, not because I want to rant it out. So yeah, I can see.
So once you're funny, the severity of the problem or whatever you want to call it is immaterial. Because you're funny anyway. You at least have the guts to look at it in a funny way.
You're comfortable with it.
That's why it's so beautiful.
Makes sense. Holy damn, dude, that is. I don't know why. As the podcasts keep going, we just go deeper into something that. It's
Nice,
fun.
nice,
It's
right?
fun. It's fun.
Put 3 comedians in this room. This is the kind of shit that is going to happen. Don't hang out with us, guys.
Put 3 comedians,
Listen to us, don't hang out.
put 3 comedians and a little pod, this is going to get.
No, but it's so cool that we people keep thinking that when comedians come together, it's like haha joke here, haha wit here. We can get real, like real fast.
That is fucking pressure, no?
Ama.
How dare you think that I'm funny before even watching me? That's very wrong. There are 2 kinds of people. One set of people will think too much about. That's the reason why I hate giving intros to a lot of people. When some people introduce me,
Wow.
We spoke about this. We spoke
somebody, irrespective of however big the comedian is, I would never say that. Give it up for the best comedian. No fucking way.
Fuck that.
If somebody tells that to me, that he's one of the funniest
It
guys.
mess with you.
What the fuck? Why
mess
are
with you.
you telling that? Why are you telling? Because there are 2 things. One is people expectations they'll blow up, right?
Yeah.
And they'll think like, oh, it's going to be really funny. I'm going to. Second is people immediately get judgmental. Oh, what the periya We'll see. That's how they think.
Wow.
So that's just really messy. So I give time for comedians to actually be funny.
Exactly.
Don't assume that guy is going to be funny immediately. You don't
Give
even
time,
know
give
what-
time, give time.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay, I'm so unhappy because now we're
Like
coming
in
to a
life or
stage.
with the podcast.
No, like in life in
Yeah, it was
general.
me too.
It's
No, but oh shit. I can't. We have only a couple of minutes for the podcast.
No problem. Yeah.
So, just a last set of questions that I wanted to ask you, and this is how we usually end the podcast. Is one, what is your belief when you're on stage? What is your strength that you believe in?
It's very tough to answer. I seriously don't have an answer for this question for some reason. What do you believe my strength is when I'm on stage?
Which is why okay, but in my head,
No, because it's more about perception. I really don't think that I.
no, you think you have like a personality that you like, not personality, like there is this thing that I can do.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, but the thing is, it's about my pre-show or pre-set work that really matters to me a lot. I don't launch into any sort of set before I really feel confident about whether something funny is there or not. So this is what I do. Whenever some idea comes to my mind, I'll immediately go to my wife. I'll then explain her the premise.
Oh, you're that sort of.
Yeah, I'll not discuss with any comedian. No comedian I'll discuss this with. I'll just discuss it with her, only her. And if she finds it funny, I'll go with her.
Then you'll work with it.
That's it. If she says, because she is very anal about a lot of things. She'll ask questions like, why is this funny? Am I supposed to laugh at this? Is this really? So that kind of thing is there. So that's my preparation. So my confidence is based, I probably say, the way I think of my perspective on these things. I don't really think so there is a very good answer though. I really don't know. If you ask me the strength, I don't know.
You know what? You just don't know.
I don't know. I seriously
and
don't.
that is actually an important thing about comedy. You don't know sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're on stage because you have nothing else to do but be on stage. So, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Just one more thing.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you would like to tell people who are interested in doing comedy? Or who are doing comedy? Like, is there any sort of message?
People who are interested in doing comedy, please drop by open mics.
Yeah.
There was one point of time where there was just only one open mic happening in a week. And hardly any people would turn up most of the time. But right now you have many open mics happening in many different places. Drop by in any one of those open mics if you really want to try out comedy. Attend a lot more stand-up comedy shows. All comedians are already there. Just have an idea about where you're going to go. Chumma, just don't come to open mic and then do a 5-minute set and get back. Have a real purpose. If you really want to be a stand-up comedian, think about what you want to do with the 5 minutes. Think about where you want to go in some time. Have some kind of a personal goal.
And write every day. Don't come out there with a half-assed attempt.
That is Chinmoy the great writer.
Chinmoy the great. He has flashcards, guys. Flashcards.
Flashcards. We will do a workshop on flashcards in Faith and What. Stay tuned to Faith and What.
Okay, so whenever we end the podcast, we have this thing where we just say, roll the outro. So can you say it with me?
Sure.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, roll the outro! Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Aaquib and Jagan, and we just finished our show at Bay 146, and we had a great show. So thanks again for being on the podcast today.
Thank you. It was so great to be on the podcast. I really loved it. So guys, if you love it, like the page Faith in Podcast, go to SoundCloud, check it out, and go to any other podcast medium that you're out there and search for Faith in, search for this guy's face. It will be there on the podcast, and keep listening to it. Enjoy.
Thank you so much for being on this.
Thank
Bye.
you.